freshly bought items and fresh resources. I'm not sure that I think that you should have gotten the null magic there. I think a red crystal would have been a better buy, or a cloth armor. But, because, okay, so, like, this box is really shut down. She has 33 CS at 14 minutes, or 15 minutes, right? She's not really a threat. So there's Leona's procs that are gonna do damage to you, are gonna do magic damage to you. And yeah, like, your Taric, you have a lot of armor. But, like, you're really not concerned about magic damage from their team, and having more armor allows you to turret dive better, which is really important. I'm guessing that you're building towards a shard, which is okay. You'll put it on Lee Sin probably, but their divers are Olaf and Garen, and slows are particularly ineffective against those two champions. So I don't necessarily agree with shard being a good item in this particular game. But like, if you're building towards, like, you probably should be building to Vegas. Tristana should not have jumped in like that. That was really bad. Like, you're at the point where her jump damage is doing almost nothing. She has to start playing like a ranged AD, and ranged ADs don't jump into the middle of 4 of the enemy team. You should have put your pin cord there. Like, okay, so this bush and the corresponding one over here are really, really good places to drop pin cords. You drop pin cords in whichever one is relevant. Like, right now this bush isn't relevant at all. This one is. So drop your pin cord here. Like, the chances that they have it warded are very, very high, and the chances that you want to know whether they have it warded or not is basically 100%. And when you were standing over here, like, you didn't have any vision at all, like, in this area, I would have dropped a ward in. It would have gotten cleared almost immediately because Lena pinked it, but, I still would have dropped a ward there. And you didn't. You obviously didn't know that she had pinked it. That was not a good engage. You guys are too low. Like, Tristana was coming. Tristana was a little bit too far. She might have been able to jump into range, but then she wouldn't have had her jump to be able to get away from Olaf. And she's going to really need to use her jump to get away from Olaf, because you can't stun him or anything. Oh. Okay. Merchants are okay, but it's not that useful to have tenacity on a support like Taric, where you're not about to die because they caught you out, and you just need to throw out a stun. Like, you need to throw a stun and a shatter, and your cooldowns are pretty long, and you're really not going to be able to do anything when your cooldowns are, like, when you don't have your cooldowns. So it's nice to not be CC'd, but, like, you could have bought Australia's if you hadn't bought those merch heads at all. You could already have your Australia's, and Australia's is pretty good in this case, because, like, okay, sorry, so Australia's is pretty good against Olaf because it allows you to get away from him really effectively. You drop a ward. Like, okay, so you're chasing him, you want Brand to be able to see him, and you want to be able to drop a stun on him. You didn't need to exhaust him there. Instead, especially since you have a sightstone, what you should have done is you should have just dropped a ward right here over the pit so you can see him as he's going around, and then you're going to be able to see him to land your E. And honestly, like, at this point, since you guys are just fighting a lot and you're very tanky, your exhaust is possibly more important of a cooldown tab than your flash. So even though your flash is a shorter cooldown, even though your flash is a longer cooldown, you really, really want to have your exhaust up for the next team fight so you can exhaust Graves. Or actually, you're probably going to be exhausting Garen. Exhausting Olaf isn't quite as effective because he has his 2 damage. So if he's really, really fed and he has a whole bunch of AD, then you can exhaust him, but it's not going to slow him, and it's not going to mitigate his 2 damage at all. So usually exhausting Olaf isn't the best choice. You can help Brand last if he's under turret. Like, if you're just standing around doing nothing and someone's trying to last it under turret, just help them out. That also would have been a pretty good time for you to buy. I imagine you have Yeah, you have enough to get your Shelley's, so you should do that. That work could have been back earlier, but it's fine. Like, if you know that dragon is spawning soon, like, if you have the timer on it, if you're at a tanky sport where getting caught out a little bit isn't going to result in you dying, just go ahead and pre-board it. Okay, that is a pretty good flash stun, but, yeah, it is a pretty good flash stun. They probably could have gotten away is on thing that like with the Lux binding it, they almost certainly should have been able to get away, but like that's definitely the sort of thing that you want to look to be doing on Taric like all the time. Like if your flash is up, you should just be trying to get a flash down because that's really where like the strongest part of him. I guess like there's the armor buff. Why are you basing? Like stay with your team. You have your W, and you'll have your ult really soon because it's a really short cooldown. Yeah, that's one thing with Taric that you seem to have been doing pretty well is that just use his ult pretty much on cooldown. Like you're really far away from your team. You have your stun up, I think. Like your aggression was like really poorly timed in that fight because like your team was doing stuff and you weren't with them, and then your team wasn't there and you stayed. So just like if you see your team aggressing, yeah, you're telling them in voice chat, get out, get out, get out, get out, out. But since you said you're in voice chat, like okay, so if you're not in voice chat, then and your team is just like reacting based on your actions, then yeah, you want to be backing up a little bit so that they follow your lead. Because if they see you committing with them, they're gonna think that you think that committing is a good idea, and then they might actually get baited by the fact that you're committing and be like, oh, I don't think this is a good idea to be committing. I really want to back up, but this Taric is here. Like, let's stay. But since you said you're in voice chat with your team, that's absolutely not the case. You can say, we need to get out, we need to get out, and at the same time begin the front line protecting for your squishies and using your CC and using your cooldowns. Teasing. So that's just something that you should be mind. Oh, you gotta lock it. Okay, lock it's a good item. Okay, so since you don't have a slot for a pin cord right now, you need to make sure that someone on your team is going to be getting a pin cord. It's a good idea to have like at least 1 to 2 pin cords on your team at all times, just so that if they drop a ward that you really want to have cleared, then you can clear it. You should have walked backwards out of that. Oh, okay. Well, you should have walked backwards out of that split screen because you saw them, and you didn't know whether your team was pretty far away. You didn't know whether they were going to engage on you, but you saw that there were a whole bunch of them there. So don't walk forward out of the thing, out of the crazy. Just like walk back. So yeah, overall, that was pretty good. It was really good to take advantage of Luna's exhaust being on cooldown at the beginning of the game, and like that pretty much won you guys your lane. And winning your lane, like if Tristana wins lane, like the game is pretty much over. She had like a lot more CS than Grace at the end of the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and download your summary replay, and then I will watch that pretty soon. But I'm gonna stop the broadcast for now.